Bienvenido, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tropical Bets Ahora. I'm your host, Rich Quinones. TBA is a very fast-paced sports gambling and betting show with a focus on what's going on sports-wise in the Caribbean and, of course, overseas. We always want you guys to stay connected with us. Always get social with us, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channels, respectively. You can follow me on IG and X at RichQ on Q, TikTok RichQ on the mic, and, of course, our YouTube channel, Caribbean Deportes Talk, which is home of Tropical Bets Ahora. We had a real good spot last night with former pro baller who played over in Malta. Derek Brown played his college ball in Portland State. If you follow that, about a month or so ago, there was a really nasty incident where he was tripped during a playoff game, I believe, a late regular season playoff game by the head coach of the opposition. Malta, the league kind of banned him. So he gave me his thoughts on that league, that situation. Also, the fallout, some politics in the G League, playing at Portland State, trying to get back overseas. Also, he did mention, maybe some shadiness going on in the world of sports betting and gambling over with those leagues, which is always an issue. I think when you have these smaller leagues or overseas leagues and you allow the betting line to be public and you set lines, it's very enticing for some players, always enticing for some players. Also, want to say welcome to our very good friends who are tuning us in on Channel 82 in Bermuda, as well as in the States on Sports Radio 1029 FM, The Game in Florida, and Coastal Sports Network. We always like to say thank you for you guys tuning in. All right, so let's get to a couple plays. We'll put it on the board. Our ringside bets portion of the show we'll do in about 15 minutes. A couple baseball plays, MBL, Mexican Baseball League. There you have it right there, Aseados versus Toros. Let me give you some pitching matchups and what potentially stands out in my estimation. Well, the first game I wanted to look at was Leones against Pericos. Leones 38-48. They were laying minus 105 on Friday. That line has changed right now. That's plus money today against Pericos, which was minus 130. Now it's minus 138. Pericos comes in 42-43. So again, just to give you an idea, if you're laying $1.30, minus 130, you're laying $1.130, you're laying 130 to win 100. You're not going to get a lot of money in the pocket in that regard. It's a risk to reward, as we like to say. It's all about the pitching matchups in the MBL. Tommy Doyle is going to take the ball for Leones. He carries a mark of 0-1 to go along with an ERA of close to 5. He's tossed just under 16 innings this season, has allowed 10 runs on 11 hits, 18 strikeouts, 10 walks, and he'll be opposed by Fernando Lozano, who sports a record of 5-2. Also surrenders close to about 5 runs. A lot of, I don't know if it's, just the stadiums, the short porch, the fields, the air over there in Mexico with some of these leagues, but the ball travels, the ball sails, the ball flies. Now, the difference is Lozano, again, a little more solid pitcher, overall record. He's backed by his offense. Here's a player to watch if you can get a couple player props, anytime home run or multiple hits. Yadier Drake, 35-year-old Cuban. If you recall, back in 2022, won the Mexican League Championship with Leones back in 2022, had an outstanding season this year, playing really well, seeing the ball, just brilliantly, batting .371, already career high 20 home runs, leads the team to go along with 72 runs over 100 hits. And as I mentioned, has a really nice track record with that squad. Second game, Aseados versus the Toros. Aseados 46-38. That line's moved a little bit. The Toros come in 50-36. Probable pitching matchups is going to be Rios 10-5 with a 4.08 ERA. Braemar 5-5 with a 4.3 ERA. At last look, and I'll pull that up to see if anything has changed in that game. The odds haven't moved. So you're looking at minus 118 Aseados, and then the Toros minus 120. And I just want to double check. You still got pitching matchups are right there. That's all you needed to know. So it was moving at minus 118 for the Toros, closed at minus 120. So that's something to keep an eye out for, especially if we're doing any type of in-game live betting. All right. Our ringside bets portion of the show as we talk a little boxing tonight. There's really only 2 fights. I mean, yes, there's a lot of boxing going on right now, but point being is if you're trying to get any type of value. I'm just going to bring up these two fights because one of them's in the States. Cabrera against Diaz. That's 8 rounds, super bantamweight. Cabrera is minus 5,000. Diaz is plus 1,400. It's one of 7 tonight on the Golden Boy Promotions card on DAZN in Chicago. 3 of 4, the last wins for Cabrera have ended in KO. I haven't seen much movement or, props in this regard, but if you can capture, let's just say Cabrera with a KO within the first 3 rounds, and if it's plus money, grab it. If it's plus money, absolutely grab it. Diaz is coming off a no contest and a draw of his last 2. He's beaten no one of consequence. He just really hasn't. But as I mentioned, Cabrera 8-0, 5 knockouts. Obviously, the kids got a little pop behind some of those punches. He's defeated Nevas Rodriguez, Roberto Puchetto, who I've called a bunch of his fights in Philadelphia. Gary and Dion floored him a couple times in the second of a 6-round affair. And then obviously Digadan was not able to get up. So Diaz, like I said, Diaz comes in 3-0-1, stands 5'7" from Miami, and if he can just kind of hang in there for a round or two, you make it interesting, and maybe you can get this fight to go to distance. But I'm looking right now at Cabrera, 8-0. He's 20 years of age. He's from Sonora, Mexico. 5 knockouts. Obviously, if you can get something within the first or second round, grab it and just run with it. You'll get plus money for that. The second fight is in Quito, Ecuador. There's a title fight on the line. Fernando Godinho taking on Carlos Vera Bones. I believe it's the Ecuadorian light weight vacant title. I think that there's no odds of yet. And the reason I bring it up, because it's a pick'em. And that's pretty much indicating 100% chance for either fighter, right? So we're suggesting no clear favorite. And I think a lot of that had to do with even last night, the fight being close or the odds not being fully established yet. I've still not seen any type of odds. Now, if you check out bookmakers, odds checkers, if you check out Bet Whale, you might find some odds there. But it's very rare in the fight game where you get a pick 'em, right? Because if you have a dog in a title fight and you grab him, that's more power to you. But chances are in title fights, the favorite will always come out on top, and there's no plus money. There's no opportunity to put real money in your pocket because you're laying a lot to win back a little. Check out Bet Whale, Bet Online, Bet US. Now, Godinho has 41 rounds boxed under his belt, 28 years of age, 42 KO percentage. Only notable opponent was Ivan Morales, who at the time was a 41-fight veteran. Godinho was able to get rid of him in 8. His lone loss came against Alexander Espinoza back in 2018. That was a second-round TKO, and Espinoza was a dog in that fight. Bones is 5-7, 12 career bouts, 66 rounds, 40% KO rate. Lost to belt over 10 to Jordi Mina, 1-5 to start his career. 4-2 over his last 6. Comes with a little confidence. Now, the problem is that lopsided record, he's fought no one of note as well. And in fights like this, I kind of look at the more solid record body of work. There's a little more pop and power to Godinho. This is going to be his first 10-round affair after he jumped from 6 to 10, never even fought an 8-round contest as well. But I'm going to side with, I'm going to lay my hat with Godinho on this one. I also wanted to get a couple little news and notes. If you guys follow the Colombian hoops, and in the beginning of the year, if you grabbed Vince Cole for multiple awards, congratulations, because Vince Cole plays for the newly crowned champion Paisas, Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Import Player of the Year. So congratulations to Vince Cole. Those games are so high scoring. If you follow even during the season, you've got some opportunities to really get some really good money. And I think Cole played at Coastal Carolina. I believe he played at Coastal Carolina. And he's a good player. He's a really good player. And that's great. A little trifecta. Later on in the week, as we start to wrap things up, I will mention we will definitely get into a little more horse racing. I know there's some races going on this afternoon as we speak. I know there's some good value. I also want to get into a little cricket later on. I think also you've got the Goodwood races. They are getting set to go off at 2 or 3 o'clock Eastern time in the States. You've got some playoffs coming up with some of these other leagues. Also, I believe the NYRA was running, and I think Jose Ortiz, one of his horses, is in that field. He's a great jockey from Puerto Rico. I think it's grade 2 at Saratoga Special. So definitely check that out. That's running. I know Griffin Johnson, also the West Point T-bred. They're all connected to that horse. Obviously, Jose Ortiz, phenomenal jockey, SB winner. So you know about the background with him. So you got some horse racing there. A lot of fights coming up. I want to start getting into some soccer too. We got some fights in Bermuda. We got some fights in the DR. We got fights in PR, Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, respectively. You also have the King George Stakes that's running. Check that out as well. Also follow at Tropikal Bets Ahora. This is where we'll post all the content. As far as anything happening in the States news-wise, really the only big story of the day today in American hoops in the NBA, Luka Doncic, who signed a big-time extension, 3 years, 165 with the Los Angeles Lakers. So he's not going anywhere for a while. All right, as we start to wrap things up, we always encourage you guys to get social with us, and it's very easy to do. Follow along on my YouTube channel. And again, Caribbean Deportes Talk, which is kind of on the umbrella of Tropikal Bets Ahora. Also on SR 1029 FM The Game, you'll get the video and you'll get the audio. Also, we want to say a very special thank you to our wonderful friends tuning in on channel 82 in Bermuda. We look forward to doing some work with them. Heck, even doing a couple live broadcasts over there, hopefully sooner rather than later. So we hope everyone has enjoyed another edition of Tropikal Bets Ahora. And we always tell you guys this: when it comes to gambling and or the betting, be smart, be judicious, have a bankroll, don't chase your losses. The information we give you is just thought opinions. There's no guarantees with anything in life. Just have a little fun with it. We are going to talk a little bit more about the casino industry overseas as well going forward, and kind of the do's and don'ts and what to be careful, what to watch for, what to not get involved with. But we'll lay out a lot more lines as the show builds, and we're going to have a lot more guests. So we always appreciate you guys keeping us tuned in. And as always, for another edition of Tropikal Bets Ahora, I'm Rich Quinones, and we like to say gracias por tu tiempo. Thank you for joining us on a very busy day. And like I said, it's very easy to find me if you're watching over in the Caribbean and the States. It's Rich Q on Q. You can just Google Rich Quinones, and I'll put it there one more time. You can see right there, hosted by myself. And we give you a little insight on this fast-paced show. So you got some plays. Have a little fun with that. Have a wonderful sports weekend. We will talk to you during the week as well for another edition of Tropikal Bets Ahora. As we always like to say, hasta luego, buen día.